Hey everyone, Star Knight here. For today's video, we're gonna be doing some gesture drawing, and I'm also gonna be giving out some random tips that I've learned. So yeah, I hope you learned something. For our first gesture practice, this is the reference that I use. I'm just following the overall shape and the action of our reference. I've learned that whenever we do a gesture drawing, details aren't really that important, especially if you're like in the first step. What's important is we should try our best to capture the flow of action and the proportion, because after that it's very easy to just put the minor details. For me, whenever I do my gesture practice every day, I keep in mind to just be loose with my sketch. And yeah, just have fun. After all, gesture drawing is like a practice for us artists. It's a very great exercise to train our muscle memory, and it will help so much to spot some of the mistakes whenever we draw a piece. So even if you're studying, just have fun. Keep in mind that every time we learn something new every day, it helps us grow as an artist. By the way, I just want to say I'm not a professional artist and I've never been to any art school. So the tips that I'm giving are just some of the things that I've learned while doing my self-studies. So it's up to you if you're gonna follow the things that I say, but I hope it could help with your journey and make your life more easier. Now we're just filling our sketch with some color just for the visual so it looks good and not that plain when we look at it. For our next sketch, this is the reference that I use. Most of my reference always comes from Pinterest, and it has been a really big help with my art, especially if I'm lost in some point or I'm having a hard time to put my idea and imagination in my work. Since there's a lot of foreshortening in the reference, it gave me a little bit of a hard time, especially on the leg part. Since the knees are facing towards us, I was confused on how long or short the legs are supposed to be, but thankfully I managed to make it look decent. So after that, we just made sure that the shapes are all accurate, and I noticed that whenever I do some weird poses, I don't exaggerate the pose enough. Like sometimes it makes my characters look stiff, and that's something I should really work on. I should take more risk and step out of my comfort zone. But yeah, overall I think we're getting there. One of the sites that I use to practice my gesture drawing is called reference.sketchdaily.net, or I'll just leave the link in the description below. So basically we can change the settings of the pose that we want to see, and we can set a timer while doing our sketches, because sometimes we get too focused on the details when what's important is capturing the pose and the shape of the model. They really have a wide variety of poses, and I use this website every day, especially when I just woke up or before I start drawing my piece. It's really great for warm-ups. So for our third gesture drawing, I'll be using this reference. The pose wasn't really that difficult. My only problem is, just like I said earlier, I tend to make my characters' poses a little stiff. So for this pose, I noticed that there's a lot of curves, and I realized that the body doesn't have a straight line. Because if we examine the reference, the part of the hips is curving in that direction, and we will notice that only the leg part has like some sort of a linear plane. When it comes to the hand part, I didn't really put details since we're focusing on capturing the shape of the pose, and I felt like it's not really necessary to put the details on, and plus doing the hands is tedious work, so I'll just do it in another study. Throughout the practice, I use the liquify tool a lot, especially when adjusting some of the parts that I felt like not that accurate with the reference. We're drawing near the end, everyone. Thank you for joining me practice my gesture drawing, and I hope you learned something with the random tips that I gave. For more drawing practices, don't forget to like and subscribe, and here's the result of my practice, everyone.